All right, let's talk about the breadboarding page or pages which are due in this week and next week. We've got half due in this week, half due in next week, and that should be 3 pages plus maybe 4 pages in total, which should document your journey through making the breadboard. Now, what I don't want is a picture of a finished breadboard on the page. What I want is a journey. So the first page I would have thought will be a breadboard that's connected via a USB cable, for example, and you've got the cables connecting both the bus rails together and the jump cables as well, which connect the top and the bottom of the breadboard together. If your breadboard is one of those, they're not all like that, but some of them need the bus rails connecting. Once that's done, you've got to put your genie in, and you've got to put your high and your low in, for example. That should be the next picture, and your information cable, of course. And just then you can virtually virtually model the genie breadboard and make sure that everything's connected. But of course, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself because the first thing that we should be doing on these pages is putting a title, breadboarding, and then writing exactly what we're going to be doing on that page. So what are we doing? We're going to be looking at making the circuit. It's all well and good, virtually modeling the circuit with our circuit design, but we're going to make it and make sure that it works with the components we have, because the components we have are slightly different, and therefore we've got to model it, prototype it with a prototyping board. And what's really good about breadboards is they're fast, they're easy to use. If you make a mistake, you can replace components very easily. And so by hopefully the end of 2 weeks, we should have a fully working circuit. And what's really good about that as well is we can take it home, we can show our user and or our client, and they can have a go on the product that may not look exactly like the final product, but it does have all the all the electrical wizardry working. So there we go. That's going to be our breadboarding introduction, and of course, the last thing we've got is our conclusion. What have we learned on this first page? What are we going to do on the second page? What have we learned through the breadboarding in general? And what can we take from it? And how is that going to inform the design of our final PCB? How is this going to look? Well, I would have thought you split the page into maybe two, maybe four, and on each one of those squares, for example, you would put a picture of the first stage of your breadboard or the second stage. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at a page. Here we go, breadboarding. This is really quite a good one. I like this a lot. I love this first bit where it's just identifying what each part of those boards are. Admittedly, he has jumped ahead of himself a bit, I think, and it would have been nice to have a slower progression into the breadboarding. But in fairness, what is that? That is, that's the power. That is the information cable. That's probably an on, off and on button. That's about it, really. And it looks like some sort of output of an LED, which maybe that's helping him test whether the genie's working. We've got a lot of connection down here, which is really nice. And we've got the outputs. And so you can see each stage is being documented really clearly. We've also got some programming, so alterations to program, and just explaining where on the program certain commands are going to be affecting the final design. So really good. It's also taking it back to previous designs or circuit designs, showing exactly where the diode or when the diode is being used, I suppose that is. Got a nice conclusion. Not much of an introduction. An introduction on the first page. That's good. Client comments in blue. So client comments on the breadboard in blue, which is excellent. What you might do is alter the programming as you make your way through. And if you do that, what you need to do is just produce a page at the end, just explaining exactly what alterations you've made. So, boys, that's not that tricky. And if you've got 2 weeks to do it, 4 lessons, I think you could do that quite easy. 5 lessons, actually, because you don't have a theory lesson. Please remember you've got to do some reading at the weekend, and you will have a test on your first lesson of the week, which unfortunately for some of you is on a Thursday. hope that makes sense. Hope that's clear. And if not, drop me a line, either mail me or mail me on Teams, and I will get back to you. Okay.